Going to start this morning with the Irish Independent, and it leads with Lowry targets Olympic gold with dream of leading team. You've also got a picture there of Tipperary celebrating with the trophy after winning the Borgosh Energy Munster Hurling Under-20 final. It was a dramatic finale at Temple Stadium last night, and you've got Dundalk preview as well. Perth wants positivity for Dundalk's Carabag test. It is a mountain to climb for Dundalk, admittedly, but he does sound in positive form. And then another GAA story here. Quaid axed as Westmeath boss. So Westmeath GAA will tonight confirm the departure of their senior hurling manager Joe Quaid after just 1 year in charge.
Yeah, I've got the Irish Daily Mail here. They go with target Tokyo. Shane Lowry saying that he's stepping forward as a candidate. He wants to represent Ireland, and that he would absolutely would carry the Irish flag if asked. And there's probably in with a good show, being the flag bearer at the opening ceremony now. So things go like everything's looking good for Shane Lowry, you know. Sort of the bits. Reds put Thomond naming rights up for grabs. That's kind of a commercial thing with Thomond Park, I guess. And Cody says Limerick are no copycats, but similarities are there to see. That's in reference to Limerick hurling, who play on Saturday.
Yeah, it's going to be a good one.
Big match.
Try and get you tickets.
Yeah, I'm gonna put the message into Adrian and Joe.
I think you were on with us a couple of mornings after the semi-final win against Cork last year, and that was a moment where it's like, this is insane. This is absolutely incredible.
Blown away,
the way the game went after the extra time and all that. Nicky Quaid's ridiculous save. That almost felt unimagined from your perspective, like an All-Ireland win.
It was, and it was a turning point. I'd been to a couple of other matches, but they're always sitting back. This time I was actually right there in the park, right beside them, in Croke Park, and. Yeah, you're just taken aback by the level of skill and the drama. Yeah,
it's one of the best weekends in the hurling calendar. Is the new semi-finals weekend with them both on the same weekend. It was brilliant last year and hopefully brilliant again this year. I'll be big in Japan, says the headline on the back of the Irish Daily Star this morning. Lowry's on a mission for Tokyo. Knock 'em out, lads, says the headline then in Ireland against Portugal, which is of course in Yerevan at 3 o'clock today in the European Under-19 Championships. That's a picture there of Oisin McEntee with boxing gloves on. I've been trying to figure out, because we have Andy in studio, if Oisin McEntee is like a former boxer or anything like that. To be honest with you,
technique looks good though.
His technique does look good. Well, to my eyes, it looks good. But even if you're saying it must be excellent, it turns out if you actually take out all the text on the picture and zoom it out a little bit, he's actually just on one of those boxing machines. But there's another picture that we have on the back page of him with his hands up in clenched fists, and there's other pictures of him still in the boxing gloves. So maybe there is something that we're missing here. But certainly it seems that the only time he's actually worn gloves is when he's previously been a goalkeeper. A couple of other things then on the back of the Irish Daily Star. Adeleke strikes Baku gold. It's the European Youth Olympics. She's absolutely flying it, and she won gold again in the 100 metres last night. Longstaff bid upped. We'll get into this in deal or no deal later on. Manchester United ready to step up their efforts in a bid to sign Sean Longstaff from Newcastle United. And Connacht's got a Paul. So Aaron Gallan talking about Paul Connacht. Paul Connacht is 33 years old, which I didn't know. I thought he's a bit older. He obviously was involved in Clare 5 years ago, which means he was 28 years old. I don't want to be ageist in the other way, but for a 28-year-old to have such an impact on a coaching setup with a team that managed to scale those heights like Clare in 2013 is remarkable. So he's still in the early throes of his coaching career and has been a vital cog in that Limerick setup.
Yeah, I've got the son, and you mentioned the fists. Here he is here, but it's a story about Tom Owen saying that you take to it like a duck to water. Ireland play Portugal in the semi-final under 19s today. You can watch it on RT2 at 3 p.m. And the headline is Baby Ducks do, and then Baby Shark down here in relation to Shane Lowry saying that he had the hit kids song going on his, and I can relate to this.
Yeah.
They call it an earworm, but it's a brainworm. Like I'll find myself just walking around the street all day and just singing, rain, rain, go away, come again, whatever it may be, But this Baby Shark one, I don't know who wrote it, but it's a phenomenon, and kids just go crazy for it. And it's the simplest song in the world, but it's catchy, He said
he was driving to the course on Sunday and they had to play it for his daughter, so that she'd behave en route to the course, and it was just in his head all day while winning the Open.
That'll tell you how down to earth he is. I'm sure if there was Tiger Woods, there'd be no Baby Shark going on. It'd be positive reaffirmation. But yeah, that's basically it. Something about Uri Emery saying he's thrown in the towel on Arsenal's title challenge 16 days before the season kicks off, which is probably a bit much. I think it's probably fake news. Fake news. Do we report fake news?
We always report fake news. It's still news. Back page of the Mirror this morning is Let the Games Begin, Lowry Eye's leading role and the medal at Tokyo Olympics. And Brian Kerr says the FAI board are a disgrace. He says they don't seem to understand. They're like fellas in the bunker in the war. They think they're all right in where they are, and the outside world doesn't affect them until the bomb hits the bunker and they're gone. He's talking about Donald Conway and Noel Fitzroy and how they're planning to stay on in their positions with the FAI board. The AGM is this weekend.
The Herald Sport, Lukaku out of luck. It's just saying, referring to time nearly up for improve offer with United in the race to buy Maguire. It's a funny situation with United. It kind of seems to be rudderless. So they don't really have a clear direction of where they're going. You know, I mentioned Longstaff, Maguire, and then Lukaku. They're trying to offload him. You know, they came in with a bid for £54 million, with 60 million euros. Probably would have took it, would you? I'm not sure.
For Harry Maguire?
For Lukaku.
For Lukaku, sorry, Inter, yeah.
Yeah.
He probably would have. I'm actually surprised that they didn't, and I'm surprised that he's still there. And you get to the point now where
with the wages he's on, and he's getting old. He's actually, you can't fault him in his performances. It's just that does he suit the style of play in terms of that he's a heavier, more robust centre forward. He's not fast or dynamic like the likes of Rashford though.
Well, I'd agree with that. I think that he doesn't look good in that team, and his particular sets of talents haven't been utilised to perfection by Manchester United in recent times. The Times goes with Great Britain stars doping protest. This is a very interesting story that's developing from Korea at the World Championships. Duncan Scott protested against the presence of Sun Yang. So he's a 22-year-old from Glasgow, received a bronze medal several yards away from Sun Yang, and declines to have his picture taken alongside the Chinese swimmer. The videos of this is remarkable. So you have Sun Yang in the middle with his gold medal, and then Scott standing beside him getting his bronze medal. Sun Yang goes over, shakes the silver medalist's hand, goes over and shakes the other bronze medalist's hand, then goes to shake Scott's hand, and Scott just completely blanks him, just doesn't look at him whatsoever. The other three lads go over to take their picture, and Scott stays where he is, poses with his medal about 10 yards away from where the other three are. Sun Yang says to him, "You're a loser, I'm a winner." So this is at the end of their 200-metre freestyle final. This is about Yang's checkered history, I think it's fair to say, when it comes to
Scott's taken the moral protest, kind of standing away from them.
And it's been done, as far as I'm aware, this was a feature of Rio as well. And it wasn't just Sun Yang that people voiced concerns about. There was other swimmers as well from around the world. So the swimming community is certainly a community that's not afraid to voice its own concerns, even when your own competitor is in the water. So it's an interesting one. I think fair play to Scott on that. Another one actually here that's kind of related is Stuart Fraser saying SW19 qualifier failed drugs test. So this is Beatriz Haddad Maia, the world number 99 from Brazil, tested positive during the Croatia Open in Ball in June. So she tested positive for selective androgen receptor modulators, which were developed by companies as an alternative to anabolic steroids. So she's going to get a ban. And then Joelinton has become the first signing of the Steve Bruce era at Newcastle United, 40 million quid, club record.
Irish Examiner Sports, tipping the scales. Last Premier Gold breaks Cork's heart. I think that's the under-20 final there in the hurling. And Larry's saying that he looks to kick on now. And that's another point. What does he do now, Shane Larry, going forward after this major success? Like, what does it put pressure on him? Does he get confidence? Even get getting over the celebration and this kind of newfound fame and recognition. Not that he wasn't famous before.
But it's stratospheric now.
Yeah.
Like the Golf Channel going wall to wall with Shane Larry Mania on Saturday, Sunday. It's just such an unusual thing.
Does he, I don't know. Just thinking that I'll top of your head like that, you'd probably take a month or two off and then come back later in the year, to competition and just try and be fresh and kind of put this behind you. But
the beauty of it is
he wants to kick on.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. The beauty of it is that it's the last major of the year. It's not like he's got another one next month that he's got to knuckle down for or anything like that.
Wasn't he due to be playing this week in a competition?
In Memphis, but he's decided not to do that. And he's going to take a bit of time off, actually. But there is a lot of money to be made at the end of the season, obviously, with the FedEx Cup and anybody who might be involved in that, or even on the European Tour, there's a couple of big events as well. So it's interesting to see what happens next year, really. I think he will be able to back it up. I think we will see him in contention at majors again. The back page of the Racing Post this morning goes with Awesome Foursome, top tips for all this week's golf tournaments. The front page is Elliot Keane on Mate as he prepares hefty team for Galway, and Connell to embark on new role as trainer. That's regarding Barry Connell. You got the Guardian, I think.
I've got the Guardian here. The headline is the Ashes. I guess that's happening now, is it?
Yes, down the line. Well, the thing is,
don't need to panic.
This is disrespectful to Ireland, right? This whole talk about the Ashes, because England are talking about playing Australia in the Ashes, but they've got a bloody big test match starting this morning against Ireland at Lord's. So focus on these 3 days, England, before you start focusing in on the Ashes.
Disrespectful.
There's a sleeping giant waiting to take you out in the home of cricket.
Andy, well, the Open showed Ireland deserve its place in the sun. So why are the EBC treating them like guinea pigs with a 4-day test? So what's that in reference to?
They'd be testing them out, I guess, before you actually make the Ashes team. They're going to try out a couple of the one-day international players, one of the heroes, a few of the heroes from the World Cup, before they actually see if they're good enough to actually play Australia in the Ashes. So they're using us as a training regime, Andy. The Irish Times leads with our O'Shea's column. Rochford factor can add more fuel to Mayo's fire. So presumably he's tipping Mayo to potentially win on Sunday week. All the build-up to that coming next week, really. The Daily Telegraph goes with a bit more of a respectful line to Ireland on their cricket headline. Root sees this moment. Captain tells England to ride wave of World Cup euphoria into Ireland test. And then the Ashes. That's right. Ireland is before the Ashes.